This is the Hello Neighbors announcement trailer. This trailer is very famous in the Hello Neighbor community. It's been a topic for discussion for years to come, especially when it's been compared to the original game released by TINYBUILD and made by Dynamic Pixels. But this game has been wanted in the community to be released by the publisher or just the game developer. This trailer is very famous for being one of the most exciting trailers ever, and I wanted this video to be a discussion and my thoughts. Having played all the Hell Neighbor alphas, having played the original game, to some extent I did play very start of Hello Neighbor 2 on Xbox One. I haven't finished it because I don't own the Xbox. It's a relative. It's my father's brother's Xbox. I haven't because I mostly played only other games. Well, mostly Mortal Kombat. But away from that and well, as we can see, it's already the concept is solid and it's actually pretty amazing. This is what everyone wanted, and I can't blame. This is a really good concept. Also, this is the only instance in the games we get to hear the neighbor's voice, and he does swear like any normal person would if their window was shown tomatoes at. This is what sold this concept for me personally. This very claustrophobic and close environment. As you could see, we walked in, saw the neighbor, and immediately went to this room where we saw the hammer was. And this is actually really solid concept on its own. This is what everyone wanted for the game. This, I can say, is very great sound, because the sounds are actually really, like, you can just imagine yourself. Not to mention the music, the sound design. I already mentioned, just sound and sound design for me actually have a bit of, like, it's different from me. But not to mention the environment. We're put in this, as I said, claustrophobic environment, and when we hear the neighbor's footsteps coming back to his home, we hide, turn off the light where we put the light bulb in, and we get this scene of the neighbor walking through, and the music accompanies. That word. Already, I know I stopped for a few times, but I just had to do it. Already, this is a great distraction for the player who's playing, but also this is very solid. As we can see, in any normal game, mainly the main, I will say villain, but more like the main antagonist of the game is drawn to sound, and this is what we see in a lot of games. This one, he is driven by the sound of TV turning on out of nowhere, and he goes to investigate, and the player hides and comes out. This is good. This is good game design. Where in the more in the more like Alpha 3, Alpha 4, and in the whole in the game, we don't get it. We just don't get that. But here, this is what I say we needed. The player just got exposed, and the very loud and dramatic music starts playing, and our first initiative is run. As the player moves, we can see the movement of our running is not only very erratic but also very stressed out. We got caught. Well, not caught, we got seen by the neighbor. The music starts playing, we start running. We can see that the player is driven by stress. He's stressed out to getting caught by the neighbor. Not to mention the scene where the neighbor throws was it, I think it was a chair, maybe a trash can, I don't know, I can't remember. The neighbor throws the trash can and immediately looks at us in this sort of very unhuman, like he looks at us without like seeing any emotion on his face. He just looks at us blank. He just does like this pose where he just extends his arms like in a way that makes us seem like we're powerless in this situation. We go back to the house, break the window with a trash can, and when we drag the table, the music cuts, and it seems to have no climax. The climax is very sudden, but it's not releasing the tension. We got caught. The whole animation of the seeing the neighbor's claw, well, not claw, what I mean, his gloved hands dragging us while the TV is still playing. Everything has been barricaded. Like, we know this is not good, and not only it's very how do I say this? It's very unnatural, because we just had been like moments ago and everything was named like a regular house. We didn't see the whole house in this state with all the furniture just not in the way. It just closed everything, every escape. We have only the door to the TV, and we have only the area to the basement. We get the plank off, we try to do something else, and we got caught. This is what I consider to be the most, not only trauma driven, not only stressing, but the most paranoid I have seen. we get a very realistic description of the casket. Well, a look of the casket. As we can see, he's burying us. He puts all the dirt and rocks, and the last thing we hear, I mean, during all of that, we hear a bell ringing. This, like it's some sort of effect, and the last thing we ever hear is a cry, a desperate cry for help. But as we can probably guess or just know, we didn't make out alive. This is what I consider to be the most solid concept to a horror game ever. Where, like in the Five Nights at Freddy's, taking the Chuck E. Cheese environment this time, just make it to, and Scott Cawthon just made it to his own, and with the Bendy and the Ink Machine taking the Mickey Mouse like Volt, like the one Mickey Mouse like elegance, and just putting, and just like the creator just did make it all inky. Those are both very solid concepts, I will say. I personally really like those concepts, but this is what I humbly consider, in my humble opinion, to be the most, literally the most solid concept to a horror game ever made. And I hope one day we get to see something similar to this. As a Hello Neighbor, a die-hard Hello Neighbor fan, I've been following this franchise since its start, basically. But I started following before the full game release. I was like 7 years old, just like watching from home, playing all other YouTubers play this, the early alphas and pre-alpha. But now, as I grew up, I will say this is 100% better than anything TINYBUILD in Dynamic Pixels has ever done. This is really cool, scary, because it has like that claustrophobia effects. Not to mention, we don't know the environment, we don't know anything, we just know we have to just get to the basement. But the last thing we ever see or hear is our desperate cry for help. This is what I mean when I say that Hello Neighbor's potential is really high. I absolutely love this trailer. I think it's solid in explaining what we're supposed to do. Not to mention, this is what I need. Well, not I need, but what we all need, to be honest. This is what I want for a Hello Neighbor game. And give me a quick while. Okay. Let's leave it at that. I will say this is probably the best ever concept for a horror game ever made. I know it's a very controversial opinion, and I will admit maybe there probably is a better, but for someone who is glued up with this franchise and how he wants to see Hello Neighbor done better, and just like how much I've seen of this franchise, also the third game that is coming out, it seems really solid from the start. But I will say that this announcement trailer If he got this as the original full game, I think me and myself included, and a lot of other people would have loved this to be the final game ever made for the Hello Neighbor series. Thank you all so much for staying here for another day and listening to me. Thank you so much for your attention and the love you've been giving me, despite me just being a random person who's been collecting Transformers figures and been into horror and many other genres of media. I just wanted to talk about this trailer and how much Hello Neighbor has its potential still untouched. I hope in the near future we get something similar to this. Thank you all so much for watching.